What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in again this week to another episode on my Blakebuilds channel. Please remember to like and subscribe and send some links to your friends and share and all that. This week, I don't really have that much going on. So today I thought we'd just sit here and watch my avocado tree grow. I've been growing an avocado tree for about 5 weeks now, and fun fact, it will actually take between 5 and 13 years for this seed to produce another avocado. So check back in 5 to 13 years and we'll see if I have a new avocado to start this process all over again. Just kidding. Today we're going to do some more work in the garage on the BMW. We're finally going to actually finish up this tube rear that I've been working on for what seems like forever. Basically everything's all done. And as you guys know, I kind of work during the week, and then I kind of do one little thing on the weekends and film all of it to update you guys. So let me show you what I got done this week and what we're going to be doing today. And thankfully we don't have to just sit here and watch my avocado tree grow. Alright, so tube rear looks pretty similar to how it did last week. There's a couple things added on though. So I think last time we had the bumper bar done and the 2 side impact bars done. Now we have the, I guess, fender support rods done. They're actually bolted in right here. And they're bolted in like this so that if you get in a hit like out here like this, the idea is that, of course, these will likely bend, but this will also rotate on this screw. So it'll kind of just rotate like inward, and maybe it'll save something. I don't really know, but it's got some type of, shock or something. Whatever. Of course, I made one for both sides. The wires are in the way on this side, but there's one on both sides. And they just kind of go up and attach to the taillight here and kind of support this quarter panel structure here. If you look, I actually made the cuts and cut into my 2F Performance rear quarter panels. I cut the whole middle out of them, and I don't regret it. I think it was alright, and it's better this way. I just didn't want to cut into such expensive fenders. And a tip from Stefan Papadakis, I'm using zip ties to hold the bumper on. So I was trying to think of a good way to hold the bumper on without actually bolting it to anything or making it very solid so it didn't hurt anything if it fell off. Stefan Papadakis uses zip ties to keep his bumpers on. I think it's okay for me too. Next thing I did was I made this jack point. So we go down here. We cut this circle out on the plasma table over at Night Owl. I welded it to this tube and then welded the tube to the structure here. This is the battery holder. There's going to be another one right here. So I welded this bar across here. I welded, these are called weld nuts. They're like riv nuts, except you weld them on instead of rivet them on. And they're just stronger than riv nuts. So you could probably use riv nuts to bolt a battery down, but these are stronger than riv nuts, so I thought these would be better. And I have another one of these which actually should show up in the next hour or two. That'll go right here. Both batteries will go right behind the radium fuel cell here. This is just tacked in right now to make sure that this one fits, but I'll weld this up. And then right behind that we actually have the kind of, I guess I'll call them radiator trays. So the radiator will sit in this tray and this tray, just like they do in stock, like most stock cars. I'll put some rubber in here to isolate it. Let's see, where's the radiator? Here it is. So, radiator. Sorry guys, I need both hands for this. So the radiator sits in those trays on the bottom. I'll put some rubber in there to isolate it. So it's just so it's not solid mounted. And then on the sides here, Night Owl was nice enough to weld these little 8mm screw bung things on here. So I'll just weld like a 3/8 rod up underneath here and come down so I can bolt this in. So it's really easy to take in and out. It's easy to move around and access the batteries of the fuel cell, and it should work pretty well. So that's my plan today actually. Since I made all this during the week, I'll probably finish welding some stuff down here and make these little rods to hold this up. Alright, so I just got a bungee cord holding up the top of the radiator here, and I haven't really decided how far it's going to tilt back. It's probably going to be pretty vertical actually. But now I can go ahead and make the mounts for right here. I can weld the rod. Whoa, it's really hot, guys. Wow. I can weld the rod to this tall side, and then the screw will be exposed on this short side. So, hey, that's pretty cool. Nice little 30-degree bevel on there. Obviously, I'll clean up all this, extra crap. So there she is, all cleaned up. And I'm gonna weld a washer to this side and bolt it to the radiator. Alright, so I wouldn't call these things the prettiest things in the world, but I think they'll work. They're not that bad. They look like I just got like a fender washer from Ace Hardware and welded it to that little piece I cut out of the 1-inch tube, and it'll definitely work. I wish I could have, if I had a TIG welder, I could have made this a lot prettier, but since I only have a MIG, I had to grind this down, and I don't have the patience to grind through that much MIG weld, so it's going on like this, and paint's going to cover up all that other crap. Alright, so we have a little bit of a change of plans. So, I cut these out, and I did a crappy job welding and grinding them on, and then I bolted them onto the radiator here, and I was originally going to kind of come to the underside of this with a piece of 3/8 rod, and just have the rod go from here to here. Which is all fine and dandy. It would have looked pretty good, very simple. But if you are hit here and this crushes for some reason, then you also have a chance to take out the radiator at the same time. So I kind of rethought that and thought, okay, maybe this isn't the best place to put these. So then I was going to do this. I was going to weld the 3/8 rod way back here, and it was 18 inches long actually, directly to here. So I just cut the piece of 3/8 rod I had in half, which was 3 feet long. And then I was like, well, okay, this looks okay. It looks a little funky because that piece is so long, but I think it'll work just fine. And then I realized I had a couple more of these. So we cut all these little tabs out with this little hole in it for the bolt over at Night Owl, and I had a couple more. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a riv nut here and riv nut this tab down, and then place a rod from this tab to this guy right here, so that both ends are bolted in and no end is welded in. I think it's just a little bit better. It's more protected from side impacts, and I think it'll just look better. It'll look like everything matches. It'll be out of the way. So that's what I'm going to do. There we go. One there and one there. So we'll just weld some rod from there to this guy. Alright, I got these tacked up. They don't look too bad. So I got my piece that we cut earlier, a rod going down to the tab I had extra, and down to a riv nut here. So I'm going to unbolt this and just finish weld it and put it back in, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. They're really out of the way. Nothing can really affect them. Pretty fragile anyway, so if something did, they're not likely to go into the radiator. And they're removable, which I really like, so I'm going to keep on going. That will button up the entire rear bash bar setup here. That's literally everything back here for fabrication, so really exciting. Amazon did not deliver my other battery today for some reason. Says delivery attempted, but they didn't attempt no delivery. 5:33 p.m. I was standing right here. No note, no Amazon truck, no delivery, no battery holder. Basically everything back here is all buttoned up. It's really exciting because that means that we can move on to doing basically the same exact thing in the front of the car. So the fenders are actually coming this week. So I got M3 fenders coming for here. We'll get the headlight lenses after. Oh, wait a second, you know what? There is one more thing we gotta do back here. So actually, back here, there's one more thing we gotta do back here. Of course, we have to make the fan shroud for the radiator fans, but I'm not really including that in this fabrication. We don't have any way to hold our trunk down. I'm either going to, put some 1-inch bars. I think Injuku has some 1-inch bars that come straight up and then go through the lid with some nice pins or something there, so there's not really much to do. HGK uses springs on the inside from here, and that's actually how my E36 is done. But on this car, there's really not much to attach those springs to, so I don't really want to make like another bar that comes way out here just to put some little springs on. And I don't want to attach them to the bash bar because this is a replaceable piece. So I'll have to think about this. But yeah, I didn't consider that, and that is one more thing we'll have to do. We'll have to cut all of this internal structure out of this trunk here and find a way to hold it down to the car likely I think I'm going to take some 1-inch bar straight up here and put a pin through the top of the trunk. I think that's easiest. At least the chassis fabrication is done back here. Almost done, basically done. I think I'm gonna do headlight lenses with LEDs behind them, like Odie's car, Matt Field's car. Because man, are E92 headlights expensive. I mean, even the crappiest eBay headlights I can find are still like $460, and that is just too much to spend for a drift car's headlights, in my opinion. If they were $200, sure, no problem. But $450 and they get smashed like every other event? Not here. Once those come in, we'll make some rod coming off here to hold the lenses up, some rods coming off here to hold the hood up, and we'll start working in this area. Very similar to the back, but in the front. So guys, as always, thanks for tuning in this week. Subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe, leave a comment if you have something to say, and like this video. I'll see you guys next week.